Hello, this is Raziel Cohen with ndftraining.com, and today we're going to be speaking about the Strike Industries King Comp as well as the Strike Industries Oppressor. So now what this product is this is a product that you add to the front of your rifle to help reduce recoil. There are a lot of companies that make attachments for the front of your rifle to help reduce muzzle rise, and that is called a muzzle brake. Now, the only thing that I found about this one specifically that I really enjoyed is the fact that Strike Industries as a company is known to really put out a lot of different products that are able to be compatible with what they have. So when you get a product like the Strike Industries King Comp, you're never really just getting that. You're also usually able to get a lot of other attachments for the rifle, as well as also at a very competitive price point in comparison to other companies. So one of the things that I wanted is that going into an indoor range specifically is that it's very obnoxious to be standing next to someone with a very aggressive compensator, because the gases really blow out to the side of the gun and it really makes it very difficult for other people to shoot. At the same time, having something like this, which is able to send the gases directly downrange, often could affect the way that the muzzle rise is going to be able to work. So you might have a very good compensator, but if you have in other companies, you could end up putting this on and it affects the way that the rifle actually recoils. So it kind of takes away the value of having a compensator. So Strike Industries came out with this duo. This does work on other muzzle brakes that they have, but this one specifically, that while you're able to use this compensator and once this is attached, it doesn't actually affect the recoil impulse of the gun. It actually stays consistent. Now, I don't have any specific technology devices to be able to measure that particularly. However, when I was able to test it at the range, what I did was that I set up a group at 25 yards and I closed my eyes completely. Obviously, I made sure the gun was aiming downrange. I took a few shots and then I switched out the magazine and put this on and took a few shots again to try to feel the difference in what the recoil was going to be like. And for me, myself, I wasn't able to feel any significant difference in the recoil impulse, which I think is really cool, which ultimately means that this is doing not only good things in regards to recoil management, but it's also, while having this on and not affecting the people around you, you're still able to get good compensation from that muzzle brake. Now, for those of you who might not know, I currently am living in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey has absolutely terrible gun laws when it comes to being able to use different platforms. One thing about this muzzle brake that I thought was really cool is that in New Jersey, if you have a 10.5-inch barrel, then you're not able to have any other kind of muzzle brake. Whatever you have on the front of the barrel has to be pin and welded, and it's not able to be changed. If, however, you have, let's say, a 12-inch barrel, then you're going to be able to switch out different sizes. But what if you want the 10-inch barrel and you want to be able to have a muzzle brake that has different options? Then first of all, this muzzle brake is able to be pinned to the 10.5-inch barrel, which I think is great. And then after it's pinned, you could still have accessories like this one onto the gun. So you're not just getting a muzzle brake and then being done with it and kind of being annoyed that that's what you're stuck with. You're still able to have alternative options to be able to use different things that are offered from the company. One thing that you may or may not have seen from Strike Industries, which I thought was really cool, is just because they made an attachment for the front of a barrel that is able to attach to their compensators, they're able to launch golf balls. Why? Because America and because we can. So I thought that's really cool. The main thing is that they're a company that's constantly innovating and trying out different designs for their rifles to be able to make them more effective. Now, the overall length of this is pretty long in comparison to some muzzle brakes that are out there, but for the port design that they have, it's actually very effective. So I have a lot of different compensators that I'm able to show you guys that they work in many different ways, but the one that I have right now, that's the keyword being modular, is this one. So again, this is the King Comp. This is for the 5.56 223 version. They do also have one for a 7.62 by 51, I believe, which makes it also very good for your bolt guns. And again, you can still add these muzzle devices to them. This Oppressor is a one use, which means that if you have one of these King Comps on your 5.56 as well as one on your 7.62, you can use the same Oppressor design to be able to work on both. Now, the way this actually latches on is very cool. It's a very simple slip on. You ratchet it down until you hear the click, and then you're pretty much good to go. So it's as close to us being in a restricted state and having a suppressor as you could get. But again, for the design and what it's able to do, I think it's a very capable, very simple and effective way, while still not breaking the bank when it comes to cost. So this rifle that I currently have the muzzle brake on is one of my test rifles. What I'm trying to do is that there's kind of a trend right now of the what would Stoner do rifle, where if Eugene Stoner was alive today and around today, how would he design the AR-15 to be able to make it the most modern style rifle? So I've been going through a lot of different iterations with this rifle. This is absolutely not the end of what this journey of this gun is, but it's still like in the testing phase. The upper on this rifle is a 16-inch barrel with a mid-length gas system, and with the muzzle brake, it's a very soft shooting rifle. It's actually very, very enjoyable to shoot. I ran quite a bit of rounds through it to be able to test it out. I also added the Malkoff device's head and the Z-Bolt body light bodies where you're able to use for a really great flashlight setup. I currently have a Vortex LPVO. This happens to be one of their newer 1:8 options in first focal plane, which I think is cool. I'm going to be doing more testing on this, and I do already have quite an opinion on what this setup is, as well as the ScalarWorks 1.93 riser. So again, overall, as an upper, it's a very good setup rifle. And when it comes to weight, since this rifle's a little bit more on the heavy side, the balance of the gun is pretty good, because since the optic is set where it is, it does work for a really good balanced rifle. This entire upper was custom built for me from Armory Valentine, which is a guy who follows me on Instagram, and I really appreciate them sending this out. So they kind of reached out to me. They said, how do you want an upper to be put together? We put together the specs to put this all together, and this is how it came out. Again, a part of one of those components was this King Comp, which I really wanted to be able to try out, primarily because of the modularity of the different options you're able to get onto the rifle. So if this is something you might be looking for, if you're looking for a muzzle brake that you might need to pin to a rifle, similar, by the way, to my Aero Precision rifle, where the one I got from the company is pin and welded, and you can't exchange it. That's just what you have is what you have, and you're done. Having an option to be able to switch out muzzle brakes, muzzle devices, and more future options that Strike Industries is probably going to come out with, I think is really more of the way you'd want to go, because at least you're not giving up other options by having this one. So if that's something you're able to look into, you're able to check them out. You could go to strikeindustries.com to find out more information about them. And if you have any questions for them or about this product, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. This is Raziel Cohen with ndftraining.com. Thank you for watching.